Today, the Power Rangers series is turning 30 years old. You are probably more familiar with the series than me because, honestly, I know almost nothing about it. But I'm a bit familiar with beaten up, so when the developer asked me if I wanted to try the closed demo of a fan-made game about the series, I couldn't say no. But, before I forget, hi, I am Savino, and this is The Flying Kick. Fun games are something that I should look at more often here on the channel, while with all due respect to the developers, some are not that great, some of them are pretty good. And I'm not doing my part here when I keep them out of the channel, so when the Brazilian developer and a friend of mine, Douglas, asked me if I was interested in take a look at the game he's helping developing, I could only say yes, and I'm glad I did. Power Rangers, it's Morphing Time, it's a brand new game that's being created in the amazing OpenBOR engine. If you don't know OpenBOR, you will, pretty soon. Created by a team of 4 people, the game pays homage to the American series, bringing the whole story of the 90s North American tokusatsu. There's a lot to look at here if you're a fan of the series. The game uses a ton of footage from the show that, unfortunately, I can't show here because copyright is a thing. In the game, you will start in what I assume is the first day of the kids as Rangers when they gain the power and met the floating head in a jar that I forgot the names 3 times now and I'm not to look it up again. There's a little contest here and there with some speechings during the game, but nothing that will break your flow, just some lines from the show to keep the fans happy. I won't dive into the story here, first because this is a demo, so there's not much of a story here, and second because you guys probably know it better than me. But talking to one of the team members, he assured me that they want to implement the whole Ranger saga in the game. As I said, I don't know the series very well, but I believe this will be a monumental task. Graphically, the game looks awesome. It has a 16-bit look that I find pretty charming, and honestly, this is one of the most artistic, coherent games I ever seen in OpenBOR. It's pretty common for OpenBOR games to have assets from other games to save some time not creating details that most people won't notice, and that's not a problem in my opinion, but from time to time I see games that use sprites and assets from games that are so different in their design that the game ends up being very ugly, but that's not the case here. Yes, they use assets from other games, but in the case of the characters, they were used as references only, like Trinity, which uses some of Cam's poses from Street Fighter, or Billy, who uses moves from Knights of Valor. But everything here was so well made that you wouldn't know unless you are very familiar with the source material. In general, the game looks great. I would like to see bigger sprites, but I'm happy with what we have here. There's plenty of room for your characters to move around, and trust me, you will need it. When it comes to the music, the game uses music from the show, so you know that nostalgia will play a big part here. Also, the game has a lot of voice clips from the show to spice the nostalgia up. Some of the voices aren't that clear, but I guess this is what they had to work with and I'm not complaining. The songs are good enough for a layman like me, it has that energy that you want for in games like this. Nothing that will make you jump and dance if you're not a fan of the show, but good enough. When it comes to combat, the game is very good, folks. Right out of the gate, you have 5 characters to pick from: Jason, Zack, Trini, Kimberly, and Billy, the main characters from the series. They have some variety to them when it comes to speed, strength, and resistance, but not that much. I played with all of them, and aside from the moves, the differences aren't that big. Honestly, for a game like this, I think this is pretty good because most people would like to play with their favorite character and not their favorite beaten up archetype. The combat is simple and effective. There aren't super combos and juggles here, but the combat is solid enough to make it satisfying. Here you have your attack, a jump, a block, a desperation move that drains health, you can run pressing the directional twice, and you have your special, which has its own bar. Your basic attack is inspired in games like Zero Team, where if you press up or down, it will change how your basic combo finishes. And honestly, While this is a feature that I have seen in some games, here it was where it was best implemented. All your characters here have the ability to throw the enemy behind them when finish the basic combo. It may sound like a small thing, but this makes all the difference in the middle of a fight, making crowd control extremely easy and fun. Your special attack also comes in two flavors, one where you just press the button and the other where you press the button with a directional input. I would complain about the enemy variety because they are just palette swaps all the time, but I took a look at some of the show's fights and yeah, the guys will need to be creative because aside from the episode's main villain, all the enemies are those weird guys that say every time. Go! Go! Sure, the game has its problems, but from what I have seen, the problems are minimal. One thing that bothers me a lot is those guys that come running across the screen. They are annoying, yeah, but that's not the problem. The problem is that they come fast, without a warning from nowhere, giving you little to no time to react. If they appear in the corner for a moment and then start running, it would be way better. The same can be said about these flying kick guys that, again, came out of the screen and give you no chance to react. I mean, for a game being made by 4 people, this can even be classified as a complaint, but it's an annoyance. The game also offers some variety, having the story mode, a street mode, which I assume is like an arcade mode, a training mode and a boss rush. I mean, this is pretty much a complete package, missing only the online components, but now that I'm thinking, does OpenBOR even support online multiplayer? I don't think so. Power Ranger It's Morphing Time is around 40% complete. So far, only the first season's in the game, but they plan to cover the whole thing. Extra playable characters are also being considered since there were more Rangers later in the series. They are also planning a public demo, but they are studying how to make it safe because in the OpenBOR scene, theft and false claims of ownership are unfortunately very common. Power Rangers It's Morphing Time, it's a pretty good game. The combat's fun, the music is nice, the graphics are pretty good and there are tons of variety in the package. It really amazes me how much effort can go into these games that, in many cases, are superior to many retail games. Trust me, I've been on Steam before. More than that, considering this is being made by a small team of people scattered around the world, it makes everything even more impressive. The game will be released next year if everything goes according to plan, and it will run on everything that is able to run OpenBOR, that is Windows, RetroPie, Android, and even some consoles with jailbreak. And if you're a fan of the series, well, you are in for a blast here. I mean, there is no way you will miss this one, right? And that was it for the video, folks. My congratulations to the series on its 30 years of existence. I hope the fans are celebrating accordingly. I hope you all enjoyed this small preview, and if you do, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Other than that, I hope you all have an awesome day, and remember, it's morphing time.